Roger, you didn't get the email today? It's Hawaiian Shirt Day.
Just afraid not.
Where's
man.
your team spirit? Anyway, let's get on this video. Hey, I'm Rob Gantt with the Berkeley Independent and the Goose Creek Gazette. This is Roger Lee from the Somerville Journal Scene. We are at Coastal Coffee Roasters in Somerville talking a little bit of football. It's week 5, the halfway point of the regular season. All right, we're going to start out on the Berkeley County side of things. It looks like I've got about 7 games on the, on the docket this week. Starting right out, we'll go with Berkeley at Timberland. That's a county rivalry. Both teams will be looking to really get after it there. Last year, Berkeley and Timberland hooked up in a real barn burner. Timberland had the edge early, but they couldn't hang on. Berkeley ended up kind of pulling it out late, 42-32. I expect a similar type of game on Friday. And the inspiration, really, for this Hawaiian shirt is the Hanahan Hawks have homecoming this week. They host Cane Bay. It's good news that it's homecoming. Bad news that they got the Cobras, because the Cobras are as good as any team in the Low Country right now. They're clicking on all cylinders offensively and defensively. They're really putting it together. A couple of names to look out for there. I've mentioned all the weapons for Cane Bay in the past. I want to mention their center this week, Trace Turner. He's a short guy, but he's a 4-year starter. He really gets after it, kind of helps things go on the offensive front. For Hanahan, don't want to leave out Jerry Bailey. He's a running back who's having a phenomenal year. Last week he had 2 touchdowns against St. John's. Another game is West Ashley at Goose Creek. The Gators are 0-4. We're not used to seeing that. West Ashley is 2-2. That's a Region 7 5A football game. Really should be a good one. I don't want to look down too much on the Gators because they have played a really demanding schedule that included one of your teams last week, Somerville. Just hasn't worked out for the Gators, but eventually they're going to put it together, I think. Speaking of a team that's struggling, on my side of the fence, Stratford is going to go to Wando. The Knights are going to get a real heavy dose of that top-notch receiver, Ortre Smith from Wando. I saw Stratford on Friday, just a classic case of shooting yourself in the foot, making penalties at bad times, fumbling the ball at the wrong time. Stratford looking for its first win of the year. That's also a Region 7 5A game. Speaking of rivalries, the Cross Trojans, led by one of their senior players, Nate Walker. Actually, he might be a junior. But anyway, Nate Walker rushed for 160 yards last week in a win over Baptist Hill. He's going to lead the Trojans on the road to their rival, Lake Marion. The Trojans are 3-1 there. Lake Marion is 2-2. 2 other games to mention. St. John's Christian is going to host the Greenwood Sabercats. For their sake, they're hoping the Greenwood Eagles don't show up. That could be a tough night for the 8-man team from Monk's Corner.
About that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. St. John's is having a good season, though. Look for them to kind of keep it going this week. One more game, not really Berkeley County, but I call it Berkeley County because it's the team I cover. It's the Northwood Chargers. They are 1-3. They host Hilton Head Christian in a Skeeza game. There should be a lot of points in that game because I don't know that either one plays a whole lot of defense. Cameron Roberts, the receiver for the Chargers, is a guy to watch there. I zipped through mine as quickly as I could for you. Roger, looks like to me you've got a tremendous game this week with Somerville, Ashley Ridge. Can you tell us what's going on over there with you?
Yeah, the way I see it, that's the game of the week. Somerville and Ashley Ridge, 2 teams right in the same town. All the coaches know each other. All the kids grew up together. So, a little bit of extra incentive on both sides to do well in that game. Somerville's kind of a team on the rise this year. They're 2-2. Seem to be really hitting their stride. Ashley Ridge is struggling. They've only got 1 win on the season. Last week, West Ashley just, kind of took charge of that game and ended up winning by 2 scores. But the one thing you can count on is when Somerville and Ashley Ridge meet, Ashley Ridge historically has given Somerville one of their better games. They usually take it up a notch when they play Somerville. But right now they're just, they're missing their assignments. They're getting to the ball, but then they're not tackling the guy. So Ashley Ridge has a tough out this week. Somerville, Jonathan Bennett had one of his best games of the year last week, passed for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cameron Burnett had his best game of the season, scored a touchdown. The Somerville defense, one thing to watch. It's going to be interesting because Ashley Ridge can pass the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
It's going to see, I want to see if Somerville can get any pressure on that quarterback. They've got a kid, Antonio Brewer, defensive end, is averaging 1 sack per game. They've got a couple of other stars on that defensive front and in the secondary, so it's going to be a good matchup to see how they contain that Swamp Fox defense. Another game we have is Fort Dorchester is hosting James Island. Fort Dorchester's 3-1. James Island's 2-2. Fort Dorchester's coming off a blowout of Wando. They pretty much won that one walking away. The Trojans had some fumble problems last week, so if they can maybe secure the ball, they might give Fort a better showing than they had last week. But the Patriots had their strongest running game of the year last year. They rushed for 257 yards and 4 touchdowns. They've kind of been relying on the Carry-On Joyner's arm in their other wins. He has a talented group of receivers, and so it was good to see them run the ball as hard as they did. I don't think anybody doubted that they could do that, but people were just wondering, maybe they're just going to sling the ball around the place all over this year.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to establish the running game, because at some point you're going to have to be able to do that. And so playing flag football is going to work a lot of the time if you've got the weapons they have, but at some point you got to man up and be able to move the football on the ground, and that's what Fort Dorchester was working on.
Right. The Skeeza game in our area, in a team featuring a team from our area, Pinewood is going to Ben Lippen. Ben Lippen only has 1 loss on the year. That came to Porter-Gaud last week. Porter-Gaud is a team that Pinewood beat earlier in the season. So it's going to be interesting. Pinewood's coming off its first loss of the year to Charlotte Country Day, a North Carolina team. They just couldn't get their offense going, which was kind of strange for them. But anyway, one positive for them in that game was Montana Williams, a running back. Matthew Latham has been kind of carrying the load on the ground for them, and he's been doing a fantastic job. But Montana Williams kind of stepped up last week, ran the ball well, didn't rush for 100 yards or anything like that. But I think he gives them another option so that people can't just key in on Latham. And, of course, the Pinewood passing game has been there all year. I'd say probably, if the Panthers have a stronger performance than they had last week, this one it does count toward the playoff seeding, so they'll probably have more to play for. I think they should at least be in that game, if not win it, even though Ben Lippen's looking pretty strong this year.
Yeah, pretty good.
One other thing to mention is that the Shrine Bowl, that's one of 2 major all-star games in the state. It puts South Carolina all-star team up against the North Carolina all-star team. What are your thoughts on that, Rob?
Well, certainly it's a big time of year. That announcement will actually come on Monday. Really, the Shrine Bowl matches up South Carolina Senior All-Stars versus the North Carolina Senior All-Stars. It's a great game with a great purpose. The Shriners have raised money for kids who need, have various health problems. They help get them all healed up and ready to go.
Fantastic.
And they raise millions and millions of dollars. So, but now as far as the announcement, kids really want to be on the team because it basically says you're one of the state's best players that we have, and it's a prestigious game. I know generally ESPN3 picks it up. That announcement, again, will be Monday at 2 p.m. They're going to make it, I think the announcements are going to be from Charlotte. Maybe next time we do the video, we'll have that information for you, let you know. But you can expect some low country products to be on that team.